I'm so happy to be back. Hi. I missed you guys too. I did everything I could to be back as fast as possible. I even risked something I wouldn't do every day, which is going outside. Unbelievable. And you know what else? I interacted with people outside. Unbelievable. Oh, it's been quite a wild ride, you know? Definitely was not ISP this time around. It was most likely a hardware problem, and I did not know which part was having trouble, and that was where the big problem rose, you know? I've checked my connections, it's usually fine, but then it used to just randomly drop at random times. It would be fine, and all of a sudden it'll just drop. I couldn't figure it out. I've reset my router. I've downloaded all the drivers. I rolled back drivers. That didn't work. Just knowing that, like, whenever I was streaming, like, it might drop all of a sudden, and I wasn't able to provide a good quality stream for everyone. It's not only just my streams, it's also the people I'm collabing with. Like, I've been causing so much trouble in 2022. So I did not want it to continue, and that's been nagging on my mind for the longest time. Okay, so first thing I did, I reset, not fully format, but there's a reset where you can keep your files. Maybe it's gonna work. You gotta know why I choose that, because I'm under a tight time constraint right now. So if doing that fixed problems, I was gonna roll with it. That was my first step. Did not work. Actually, the worst part about this time around, when I'm usually troubleshooting, if stuff doesn't work, it doesn't work. But the worst part was that it gave me hope that was gonna work. It would work. And then, you know, it'd be fine for a couple of minutes, you know, 10 minutes. I'm just like, yes. And then, voila, a blue screen. And I'm just like, okay, go next. And so this is where the bigger problem started happening. I have the Windows, USB, restart computer. I'm gonna start fresh, completely fresh. Everything's gonna be wiped clean of pure, complete format. And it blue screened in the middle of the install. It's not good. And so this is where stuff kind of went downhill. It was kind of dark. It was in the middle of the night, and it was me in the dark room. My whole room was just painted blue, and I was starting to lose hope a little bit. You know, I was like, you know what, maybe I can reinstall again. I was just sitting, there's my chair, here's my tablet, sitting here, and I was like, okay, I can make this work. Go next. Give it like 10 minutes, it still stopped there. 20 minutes, still stopped there. 30 minutes, still frozen. So I had to press the power button. I had to reinstall Windows. This whole process of installing Windows and it crashing mid-install repeated itself around, I don't know, I didn't count. I got really tired. I fell asleep. The problem was that when Windows is installing and it restarts after it downloads all the initial files and stuff, it restarts a couple of times. Those of you guys who have installed Windows before, on the reboot, it wouldn't start up all the way. So that was another problem I was having. Instead of a blue screen happening, sometimes it was blue screen, sometimes it would just be stuck on the motherboard logo screen. So that went on for a couple of hours. A miracle happened, and somehow Windows installed itself. And I was like, bravo, it worked. And I started, installing OBS and Discord and everything needed. And because I have multiple Windows profiles, I was switching over to the other Windows and blue screened. I'll just restart, but again, stuck on the loading. It would get stuck on this motherboard logo once. Now I'll have to press the power button on the case, turn it off, and turn it on again, and it would boot up. So I was like, if this fixes itself and I can, perfectly stream and stuff, I just have to press the power button twice every time. That was not the case. That was not the case, because even when I got to Windows, it would blue screen randomly. Every time was a different stop code, which is why that one time I was doing the Twitter space, couldn't remember in the end, because there was a couple of them, a couple different ones. And so this is where I got thinking. I was like, number one, the problem crashes the entire PC, of course. Number two, it's very erratic. It doesn't have a pattern to when it crashes. It's not a certain driver. It's not a certain process. It's random, very erratic, which leads to possibly my memory, my RAM being weird, And so there's a way to test that, something called a mem test. I ran it, and of course, voila, errors. And a lot of them. And I was like, man, I found the problem. It was the memory. It was the RAM. I was like, brilliant, brilliant. I found the problem. I can fix it. I can fix it. I literally went to the local computer parts shop, grabbed the memory sticks that I needed, came back. And you know, my CPU is a Ryzen 9 3950X. And the thing about Ryzen CPUs is that they're very picky eaters. You can't just use any quote-unquote compatible memory with it. They're very, very picky. They actually have a website, AMD website. You have to choose the right RAM sticks on the list that supports your CPU. And so, yeah, I checked my previous one was not on the list, but it worked. I guess it was just unstable. So I did a double check that the new RAM that I was getting was on the list. It's on the list. And that has razor sharp edges on the top. I do not know why. Okay, RAM stick, you need to push it in very hard until you hear the click. But why in the world would you put, like, literally, I could literally cut paper with it. Okay, so I can explain it like this. Those of you guys that want to look up what the picture looks like. Literally, there's the RAM stick, and on one side there's like this design here, and there's like another design here, and this edge is literally sharp blades. And then this middle part, there's like an inch that you can press down, but then like you can't really make sure that the edges are all seated in properly. So I went to the store, I got new RAM, I installed it, I ran the mem test, and voila, 0 error. Excellent. Now I was, I was so hopeful. I was like, man, I can stream again tomorrow. Like, this is such an easy fix. I can, It started a little bit. It happens with Elden Ring, but then it didn't crash. I was like, man, this is it. I fixed it. I proceeded to download, all the software that I needed. I was gonna get Dropbox ready, and then blue screen again. I would be hopeful, and then I would be like, nope. And I'll be like, oh, I hope, nope. It's not working, nope. And I was like, you know what? At this point, I'll have to try reinstalling Windows again, Maybe something went wrong with my previous RAM installing Windows. Unfortunately, things went even more downhill because, of course, it crashed again during mid-install. And this time, something went really wrong. Something got corrupted in the Windows install file, so that did not work out. So at this point, I did not sleep, I did not eat, I was tired, and you know what? I was like, man, what do I even do? And I did something smart though, because I was so tired. I wanted to lie down, but you guys know that I don't have a bed in my room, right? Because every time, like I could get Windows to boot up using the Windows USB install thing. It would install, and it would be like, I wanted to lie down a little bit, but then like I had to like walk by to check if this one was 100%. Like I needed to see if and when the PC would crash, and so I did a big brain move. I wanted to lie down somewhere soft because the least I could do is be nice to myself and not be on the hard floor. I have a little smartphone stand here, my little keyboard. I used the camera. I joined the Discord call with myself. And I streamed the camera looking at this monitor. And then I was in the room next door in my bed. I'll just be lying down and looking at my phone. And when I was doing that, I was like, man, I'm so smart. And so I'll be lying here, looking at different. I had my iPad here. I was looking at stuff. I was looking at my phone sometimes, and I'll see that the install was about to be finished, and I would just run over to the room to see if it crashes or not. And I repeated this process a couple times, but it didn't work. By the time I was like, you know what, this is beyond saving. I can't do this right now, and I'm going to have to go get a new motherboard. Probably something went wrong with the BIOS as well. I don't know what it was, and I did not have capacity to fix it. And I did not have the time to spend on it anymore. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. I even did like a hard reset on the motherboard. Something reset, but that didn't work. So that's one of the things I tried in how many hours I spent troubleshooting. I was at a dead end. This is it. So in the end, because the reason I did not really doubt that my motherboard was also the problem was due to the fact that I had problems with this motherboard before. I've told you guys this during the Twitter space, but just when I got it, not too long after I got it, it had problem with the audio, especially with Discord. Like if I was watching someone stream on Discord, I couldn't hear them talk. So if something else went wrong, I wouldn't doubt it. So that's what happened. Was it Gigabyte? Yes, it was. Anyways, it was not too long after I debuted, so this PC has been with me since around my debut time. That's what happened when the store opened. I pre-ordered on the website before they opened, and I was gonna go in and pick it up, which is fine. It saved me time, and it saved me unnecessary interaction with the store employees. That was my number one reasoning behind it, to be honest. It's honestly faster to just go when it opens and get the parts, but I wanted to minimize social interactions with outsiders. And all I had to say was, I'm here to pick up my order, and shove my invoice thing at their face. I went to pick up my parts, came back, and assembly time! Woo! My favorite time! Oh, my fingers are still suffering. And so whole day was spent on disassembling and reassembling the PC. Most of it, actually. I'm not the best at it, especially because I have no finger strength. You'd think as an artist I would have finger strength, but actually when I draw, I barely put any pressure when drawing lines and stuff. So the RAM slot, I have my old board. This is a bird's eye view. There's thing you press here and then thing you press here. Some of them only have one, but mine. The old board had two. You have to press these down. So you can slot your RAM stick in. But the opposite, you gotta press these down to take out the seated RAM out of there. And these corners are actually pretty sharp. Coupled with the fact that there's a RAM in there where there's razor sharp blades right here. So I was trying not to press too close to this area. So I was pressing my hand against this area. Like right here. And my finger slipped and it got bloody. My blood sacrifice. So I have on my left hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a pretty deep gash right here. So I was like, oh no. And so that also slowed down my build because, your index finger is one of the main fingers you use to press stuff down and So everything was a mess. Luckily that blood didn't get on the motherboard or anything, but now you guys get to know my entire specs. Writing it by hand is more fun. I'm gonna put the stuff that stayed the same at the top. I kept my CPU. My RAM is kind of the same. Razor sharp Trident. It says it's a Trident, but there's only 2 razor blades on it. Kept my cooler. Now, the old stuff. Oh yeah, these are the 3 things I bought new this time. Elite, I know. But the new one is... I like Corsair. I use Corsair keyboards too. And the motherboard I got was Tough Gaming. Yes, so that is my PC now. I also got a SSD just in case. It was an SSD problem. But it wasn't the SSD problem, but that's my PC now.